everybody, and welcome to day 2 of Self-Love Week. I'm so excited for today because movement brings me so much joy, and I want to help you with your mindset around movement. Because when you think about moving for joy and you see exercise as an act of self-love, not punishment, it really changes your whole outlook on so much of your life. So many of us grew up associating exercise with weight loss. Perhaps calorie burning was your focus, and often we saw it as a punishment for overindulging. Oh, now I've got to go and get on the treadmill. And we've grown up with quite a negative association with exercise. So what I want to do is to really start shifting your mindset around exercise and reframing it as movement being an act of celebration, of self-care, and of joy. So let's start reframing it. What we want to do is change our thought pattern so that exercise becomes something we get to do, not something we have to do. And that's a really big shift, isn't it? So it becomes a way to honor our bodies, not punish ourselves. So here's how we're going to shift it. I've got 5 things for you to think about. First of all, you have to find a movement that makes you happy. If you hate running, then don't run. Find something else you like. Try yoga, hiking. Go and jump on your kid's trampoline if you have one. It's surprisingly fun. What about boxing? Maybe you need to just really hit something, and that's surprisingly fun too. Perhaps you like walking, and you can double up your fun by walking with a friend. It's something that I've started doing this year, catching up with at least 1, sometimes 2 friends for a walk every week. And instead of catching up for a coffee, we're going for a walk. And that way we're getting our exercise, our social time. And because we're often walking in the bush, we're also getting some forest bathing time. So we're really habit stacking those wonderful rituals that help enrich our lives. So number 2, you need to start dropping that all or nothing mentality. I know that in my past, I thought, oh, I don't have time for my hour run today. Oh, well, maybe I'll fit it in somewhere else in the week. And now I've changed the way I view that to, oh, but I could fit in a 10-minute stroll. So I do the 10-minute stroll. And that has powerful benefits for your blood glucose levels, for your mental health, and just keeping your body active. So start thinking about that. Fit in what you can fit in. It doesn't have to be this all or nothing kind of concept. I also have started doing something where it's like, actually my Apple Watch is handy. It sends me reminders, stand now, go and stand now. And when it does, it's like, oh yeah, you're right. So I'll go and just do 10 squats. And that gets the endorphins rushing, the blood pumping. It is brilliant to stabilize your blood glucose throughout the day. It doesn't have to be squats, you could do something else. But little bits often makes it fun and achievable, isn't it? So much easier than thinking, oh, I don't have time to fit in an hour workout today. That's okay. Little bits often can make a massive difference. Number 3, focus on how the movement is making you feel, not how it's making you look. So movement boosts your dopamine, your serotonin, all of your endorphins. It is so, so good for you. It's wonderful for boosting your happiness, for reducing your stress. And if you're focused on that, not moving because you want to look a certain way, then you're far more likely to do more of it, which ultimately leads to changes in the way you look. But it's not the focus. And that changes your whole mentality around exercise. You're doing it to boost your joy. Number 4, try reconnecting with some form of movement that you haven't done since you were a child. We spoke a lot yesterday about boosting your fun and play in your life. And the way you move and exercise is a really wonderful way to be reconnecting with that. If you used to love hula hooping when you were a kid, go and get a hula hoop and just laugh at yourself in the process. It's wonderful. If you do have a trampoline in your backyard, if you've got kids, go and jump on that, or get one of those mini rebounder trampolines and just sit it, I don't know, next to your bed, next to your telly, and in between your shows, instead of just binge watching show after show, when it gets, before you're allowed to watch another one, you've got to go and rebound on your mini tramp for a couple of minutes. Set these fun little rules for yourself for a while to help you reconnect with that joy of movement. If there's some sort of sport that you used to do as a child, you might be surprised at what's available at the master's level for you to get re-involved. Recently, my son has taken up diving, and I have been so pleasantly surprised. Often in his diving session, 50% of the people diving are masters. They are parents who've joined in with their children, or a couple of them are retired people who were at the pool watching them do it and decided, I've always wanted to do that, and they've just started trying. And a lot of them are people who didn't do it as a child. And so I've been challenged to give it a try. I am slightly afraid of heights, so it's going to take a big amount of courage for me to do this, and I'll be documenting it with you so that you can see that I practice what I preach. I'm trying it for fun, for courage, for connecting with my son. He thinks it's wonderful, and he's a few weeks ahead of me in the journey. But he feels like he's got so much he can teach me, and it's going to be exciting. So I'll document that for you, just to show you that I'm doing this too. I'm out there trying new things, having fun, moving for joy, and exciting times ahead. Ditch the rigid rules. This is number 5. Ditch the rules and make movement fun and intuitive. If there's a day where you are planning to go to the gym and do some weights, for example, and you just feel like, I don't know, my body's just not feeling great today, I don't think I've got that in me, go for a walk instead, or do some gentle yoga, or just do some stretches at home. It's okay to be intuitive. Remember, we're changing that mindset from movement's punishment, right, I must do this, and shifting it to, you know what, I don't really want to do that, and honouring that for yourself, but not giving up on exercise altogether. Remember, we're letting go of that all or nothing mentality. If you're not feeling up to what you had planned, do something else instead. And another thing that I've reconnected with recently, I realized in the course of writing my book and talking about all of these movement and joy and how to reconnect with what sparks that joy for you. I used to love sprinting as a child. I was quite good at it. I in my year group at high school had a couple of Olympians. I was not that good at it. So I always thought I was bad, but I was comparing myself to the best people who represented our country. And I realized I was actually okay at it. But I recently did a sprinting session with a very dear friend who is very, very talented coach, and she worked me through it and really improved my technique in a very short space of time. But what really surprised me was that I felt amazing. Just reconnecting with that joy from youth. It's like it brought back so many memories. And there is such a minuscule percentage of adults over the age of 18 who ever sprint again. And I think that's sad because it's such an amazing feeling. But don't go out and do it without some kind of preparation, because I have been working on my ligaments and strengthening my joints for a while in preparation. I'm nearly 50. I can't just jump straight into a major new form of exercise. So I'm not encouraging you to go and hurt yourself, but think about, what do you want to do? And don't assume you can't do it anymore. Just remember that 6 years ago, I couldn't walk down the corridor at the hospital. I'd had strokes, aneurysms on the brain. I was staring down the probability of brain surgery. I was a mess. And if I can come from there to being, getting a black belt in karate, a world title, now getting into sprinting, trying diving, I am just moving for joy. That is what is inspiring me. Little bit by little bit, I've wound up in a remarkable place that wouldn't have felt possible for me. But I've got there because I'm listening to my body, I'm listening to my heart, I'm following passions, and I am moving for joy. So I hope that gives you some food for thought and some ideas. But what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little bit of movement together, and I'm encouraging you to join in. Unfortunately, Facebook is not obliging. I have no idea who's here live. I wish I could interact with you better, but when I do this from my computer, it's not showing me who's here. So I'll go back and respond to any comments. Those of you who are watching the replay, just join in whenever you're watching it. We're just going to do a little bit of movement together for fun and just to get you off the couch, to get you doing something. So I'm going to get up. I'm all ready to go. Hopefully I can stand where you can see me, because we're just going to start out. Hopefully you can still hear me. I might just tilt this up a little bit. We're going to start out just with a simple stretch together. Just reach up and stretch out. Especially if you've been sitting for a while, we can get really tense and tight through the shoulders, and we don't tend to give them much love. It feels amazing just getting that body, that blood flowing through the shoulders again. So just stretch your arms across your body. So this is wonderful for those of you who have to sit for long periods of time. Standing up, doing a few quick shoulder exercises, and then I keep talking about the benefits and the magic of just doing a few squats throughout the day. So if you haven't squatted for a while, I thought it'd be helpful to just do a few together and remember how to do them. It's just as simple as your feet should be hip width apart, and I like to put my arms out in front as I'm squatting to sort of balance out. Now, if you haven't squatted for a while, just a slight knee bend is fine, because you can build up to the deeper squats over time. And ideally what you want to be doing as well is think about squeezing your glutes on the way up, because we're talking about maximizing the movement and really using those big muscle groups, because that's going to help to really absorb the blood glucose and help keep you nice and stable. And just doing 10 of these a few times throughout the day is going to make a big difference. But we're talking about movement for joy. And if squats don't spark joy for you, there are so many different things that you can do. So I have queued up a song that just makes me smile, and I cannot help but move when it's on. And I'm going to be starting sprinkling throughout the group some of my favorite playlists that just inspires me to move and have fun and smile, because this is our self-love week. These are wonderful ways to honor yourself and how you're feeling. So I've queued up the Spice Girls. So those of you in my vintage might have grown up with this one. Those of you a bit younger, you might have heard this for a while, or maybe never. My children were horrified when I put it on. So I don't know if you can hear it, but it just makes me smile. And you might want to laugh at me, but I hope that you are all up moving, because there is no way you can listen to this song without wanting to move. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. move. There we go. So, come on, keep moving. And I want to hear in the comments what songs make you just want to move. Because I might add some of them to my playlist as well. So today's act of self-love is to do some kind of movement throughout the day and come back and share with us. What did you do? Share with us. If you have a song that just makes you want to move, share it. I hope that made you smile and inspired you to just have fun. It's okay. Laugh at yourself. Movement is for joy, and you might be surprised where that journey takes you with your health, both mentally and physically. All right, much love from me to you. I hope you've enjoyed this day of our self-love week.